Hey folks, Mackenzie Lambert here with my good friend John Cleveland.
Hi everybody.
We are on day 23 of the 31 Days of Halloween Horror Challenge.
Chugging along.
Yep. Today's theme, the iconic Christopher Lee.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes. And even there's, of course, obviously the meme where it's like listing all the different accomplishments of Christopher Lee, and it's like, this man, you would have to like do a mini-series of a biography on him.
If they just made a movie, like a biopic, you wouldn't believe it. It would have to be cartoonish because you would not believe the things this man has done in his life. It's insane!
For all the people that put stock in Forrest Gump, like, this is real life.
Yes, his movie would have to be Forrest Gump. You're right, you're 100% right. Horror icon, arguably one of the greatest horror icons of all time. I am fascinated to find out what you picked.
For me, I went with, obviously, a Hammer film, because, of course...
No!
It stars opposite Peter Cushing.
You know what this face is? This is my obvious face. No shit.
Mm-hmm. But it's not Frankenstein. It's not Dracula. I went with The Mummy.
Really? All right.
Which is my all-time favorite Mummy movie. Just because it's Christopher Lee as an Egyptian Terminator.
Terrifying.
Yes.
Terrifying.
Goes through a real pane of glass.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in The Mummy, there's a scene where the mummy's supposed to walk through a large pane of glass like a window in an office to get to.
It's not sugar glass. It's real glass.
The story I love best is like, because he's got one arm held out and the other kind of wrapped up closer to his body. And so Christopher Lee walks up to the plane. Sugar glass is supposed to break fairly easily. Presses it. Is clearly aware that this is not sugar glass. Goes, fuck it, film costs money. I just walk through it. The man just walked through a plate glass window, fully aware it was a plate glass window for the film. No notes. No notes. And I mean, he doesn't talk. Is my only thing that would ever stop me from listing is his best Hammer performance. Mm-hmm. Just because to not have Christopher Lee talk is just a travesty. Mm-hmm. With that said, though, probably my favorite Mummy movie and easily in the top 3 favorite Hammer films.
Yes.
Probably number 2. I'm sorry, you're not getting over Dracula. It's not happening.
No, that's fair.
But great pick, though. Mm-hmm. And I also love it. Like, people at home, if you've never seen it, you owe it to yourself to see it. If you can, again, because, this has been a while, in the 70s or 50 years ago, if you can't stand those old vintage Hammer-esque films, they're too slow, stuff like that, you are not going to like this. It's very much of its time. It's very much a Hammer film. But if you can stand it, or you're willing to give it a chance, please do. It's a great film. I went a different way.
Okay.
So, when I hear Christopher Lee in horror, my brain, immediately goes to Hammer, and it immediately goes to Dracula. I could have done, some of his bad horror movies he in, because I love bad movies making fun. Like, he apologized for being in The Howling 2, for example. But when I hear his name, I think of 2 horror films, because they're 2 of my favorites with him. They're 2 of my favorite roles he's ever been in, and I just love him to death. I love The Horror Express.
Amazing cast in that movie,
amazing cast. But realistically, the plot doesn't work as well as it should. And Telly Savalas is excellent, but really random. But when I'm told to pick a Christopher Lee horror movie to tell other people to watch, I immediately go to The Wicker Man.
Oh, yeah. Just that chilling ending.
It's so good. From point A to point fucking Z. That movie is amazing. And it's one of those where I remember growing up hearing it was one of the worst horror films ever made. Oh, and then I never watched it, right? I'm like, I don't think I want to watch a boring old British horror film. And I started listening about what it was about, and I'm like, I like cults, and I like, secret communities and stuff. And I'm like, I love Christopher Lee, and like, it talks about religion and paganism and things, and I'm like, all these things sound really cool. Like, so I eventually sat down and I watched it. And it was a revelation. And it's so good. It's arguably the greatest folk horror of all time. It's so amazing on so many different levels and all of it works. despite itself.
Yes.
And Lee is just this pillar holding up everything. He often was quoted as saying he thinks his best film he ever did. And the more of his filmography I watch, I have to agree. It's fantastic. Don't watch the Nicolas Cage remake. No. I love Nicolas Cage. Watch it for fun.
It's irony.
But it's ironic.
Yeah.
Like, it's unintentionally ironic, which is not great. That's why it doesn't work. But watch the original. It's a slow burn. I'm not going to sell this to you. It's not fast-paced. There aren't explosions. No, watch it.
But the thing about slow burns is that as long as the characters are interesting, yes. I will go along with it.
Yes.
So
if you somehow don't know what a Wicker Man is, if you somehow don't know how this movie ends, which is one of the most iconic endings in horror history, do not look it up.
No.
Go into the film blind if you can. Amazing.
Yes.
Trust me.
Oh, yeah. Great selections for one of the great horror actors of all
Absolutely.
time. All right, so tomorrow, day 24, period piece.
Interesting. Oh, I should have done Wicker Man.
Well, and you could also use Wicker Man for Colts and Coven. So,
I could have. But I did it when I did.
Yep.
So, period pieces. All right, interesting.
Yeah. So, that'll be the theme tomorrow. Until then, this is Mackenzie Lambert.
And John Cleveland.
See you tomorrow, folks.
Bye.